All right, well, it's time to go ahead and get started. This is the Yes Group, the Young Entrepreneurs of Sarasota. Welcome. Give yourselves a big hand clap for being here. All right, quite an ambitious bunch here. So the Young Entrepreneurs of Sarasota is a support group for entrepreneurs and business owners. And a lot of people, I'm telling a lot of people about this, and they want to start coming. So hopefully just get out there and start saying, I go to the Yes Group, and it really helps us in our business. How many of you have received something in this group that you were able to take out into your business and implement and grow your company? Let me see your hands. Almost every single one of us. I know I have. I've been coming for about 8 years. You did. I'm sorry? Your friendship. My friendship, absolutely. That's where we met. I appreciate that. So, public announcement, I have sponsored the next 6 months on Meetup. It's about $89, I think it was. And if somebody would like to share that cost with me and get their logo up on the Meetup site, I would welcome that. Otherwise, I'll just have it there by myself. You'll do it? Perfect. 1, 2, 3. I have 3 people. We can all do it. We'll split the $90 up. So I appreciate that. And it's a great way to get your business out there and let a lot of people see your logo. I'm going to go ahead and introduce our speaker. Her name is Jackie Simmons. Her topic will be dial down the drama and distractions and turn up the profit. She's speaking my language, that last part for sure. As a Dale Carnegie trained speaker, a certified practitioner of multiple stress intervention techniques, and the author of the Drama Dial Down Diaries due out in 2016, she works primarily with private clients and gives presentations on the business of creating a profitable life. Please give a round warm of welcome to your advocate for a better life, Jackie Simmons.
I think I'm going to use this mic. So Al, am I turned on? Can everybody hear me?
More or less.
More or less, all right. So you're about to enter the world according to Jackie. And in the world according to Jackie, time gets compressed and can actually stop, and you're going to get 3 hours worth of information in 30 minutes. So we're going to spend the first section of time on stress. What it is, why it's important to manage it, and how to do that. You're going to walk out of here with 2 skills that you probably didn't have, with a few exceptions, before you walked in here today. Then we're going to go into Napoleon Hill and what he says is important for a business owner to know, not about success, but about failure, something he's not commonly known for. The last piece is going to be on marketing, and thank you for that segue, everybody, because we are going to drill down into who your target market is, where you're going to find them, and why you want to know how to say the right thing to the right person at the right time. That's our journey today. Are you ready?
Yes.
Cool. Good answer. So, stress. Here's the deal. Your body was designed a long time ago. And our body was perfectly designed to survive in the period of time where we had cavemen and dinosaurs. And no, we're not going to get into evolution and whether dinosaurs existed at the same time as caveman. In the world, according to Jackie, this is true. Here's the deal. Caveman, frightened by a dinosaur. The body pumped chemicals into the body, epinephrine, adrenaline. What happens? The blood pools from the higher functioning areas of the brain, the outside areas of the brain. It does this for 2 reasons. 1, it allows for incredible focus. Okay? You don't have to think about things, you just react and you move. You've got muscle available, instant signals. The other reason is that if you get a head injury, you won't bleed to death. Very functional for a caveman. Fast forward it to today. Somebody cuts you off in traffic, you get angry. Somebody is standing over your shoulder and you know they are waiting to criticize you because that is their pattern. These are our dinosaurs of today. Womp. Here's what happens. Body floods with stress chemicals. Blood pools into the limbic reptilian brain. It means that all of the people around you start sounding like the teacher in an old Charlie Brown cartoon. Womp, 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 womp. It's why you can't formulate a coherent answer to a question. Back to the caveman. After he has conquered the dinosaur or run away from it, what's he doing? The body is so perfectly designed. There are sensors at the base of the lungs at the diaphragmatic level, and when you take a deep breath, guess what they do? They trigger the body to release the chemicals that bring you back down from your state of alert. Think of the runner's high. These are your endorphins. So now the caveman, his body is normalized. Bring it back to today. Do we take a deep breath? No. Matter of fact, we're still breathing very, very shallowly. If we're even breathing at all, we tend to hold our breath. We have short-circuited our body's ability to normalize by the way that we live. So we get hit with adrenaline hit after adrenaline hit after adrenaline hit, and our bodies wear out. This is why we suffer from so many diseases today, so many degenerative diseases. When they say, and these statistics are out there, over 80% of all doctors' visits are stress-related. Our bodies are breaking down because of the constant hit of adrenaline. Are you ready to learn how to shift out of alert? Fingertip control of your emotions. So, here's the exercise. I invite you to allow your gaze to soften. Focus on the table in front of you. If you feel comfortable, allow your eyes to close. Take a deep breath. And as your gaze softens, notice the air moving in and out of your body, allowing your breathing to be as deeply and as slowly as is comfortable. Allowing your mind to clear of all thoughts as much as possible by focusing on your breathing. Find a memory of a time when you were completely relaxed. Can be any time or place that was relaxing to you. When you have an event or memory, just raise one hand briefly. So as you continue to breathe, focus in your body. Where do you notice this sensation of relaxation? Where in your body is more comfortable? How are you feeling? And on a scale of 1 to 10, where 10 is the most relaxed and comfortable, just hold up your fingers for how relaxed and comfortable you feel. You won't have to hold them up long. Just holding up your fingers, allowing your hands to rest. As you focus on this feeling of relaxation in your body, press together your thumb and first finger of each hand. Press and store this feeling of relaxation into your fingertips for use later, and continue to breathe. And as you're aware of this feeling of relaxation being pressed and stored in your fingers, count backwards in your mind from 10 to 1, allowing the feeling to deepen with each number. And when you're done, just allow your hands to rest. And as people are counting, just be aware of the sensations in your body and the ability that you have now given yourself to have emotional control. And now that you are in a state of relaxation, you will actually be able to remember and learn what we talk about for the rest of our time together. So as you have finished counting, allowing your eyes to open briefly and taking another deep breath. Why is this useful? Now you can think clearly. If you are in sales and you need to answer the phone or you need to make a phone call, calm yourself down before you answer the phone. This is one of the greatest tools, especially if you're in customer service and you know that the person on the other end of that phone is not going to be pleasant to deal with. If you calm yourself down before you answer it, you will be able to deal effectively. Why? You'll be able to think, which you might not have had such an easy time doing without this control. Okay, public service announcement. Practice this at home. You cannot wear it out. The more you use this tool, the more effective it will become. So, one of the things I promised to talk about today was focus. Okay, when you're coming out of distraction, the opposite of distraction is focus. So this you need to watch, okay? Take your right hand, we're gonna pinch here when I tell you to, not now, okay? This is where we're gonna set this connection. Everybody see this? This is the visual? Good? All right, take a deep breath, allowing your gaze to soften, allowing your breathing to deepen and slow. And as you breathe as deeply and as slowly as is comfortable, allowing your eyes to focus on the table, allowing your eyes to close if you're comfortable, find a memory of an event when you were completely focused, completely present to what you were doing. Nothing could distract you. You were on point and on target. And when you have an event or memory of being completely focused, just raise one hand briefly. And keeping your eyes closed, allowing your breathing to deepen and slow. Focus on the sensations in your body when you're completely focused on a task. How does this feel in your body? And as you're aware of this feeling of being completely focused, give it a number between 1 and 10, where 10 is completely focused. Just briefly hold up your fingers for how focused you feel and allowing your hands to rest. And as you focus and intensify this feeling, press your right thumb into the web of your left hand. We're going to press and store this feeling for use later. Remember to breathe. And as you're aware of this feeling being pressed and stored into the web of your left hand, count backwards in your mind from 10 to 1, allowing this feeling to deepen with each number. And when you're done, you can just allow your arms to rest. The value of this exercise, as people are continuing to count, is that when you have a job to do in the busyness of your day and you are feeling scattered, you can bring your right hand and press into the web of your left hand and recall the body sensations of focus. Our bodies are where we store emotion. So, as you're finished, you can allow your eyes to open and straighten up. The value of focus cannot be overestimated. In a day and a time when we are absolutely bombarded with stimulus, being able to focus on one thing gives us control of our profitability in a way that nothing else does. And so that's why we set this. These exercises are actually straight out of the stress intervention technique training that I do. And I'll be doing it more in depth on Friday at Dial Down the Drama, Turn Up the Profits. It's a longer version of this. When you can focus, your ability to be present to the other person, and at the end when we go into the marketing information, being present to another person is the fastest way to build trust. We were talking about trust and how that is important if you're trying to grow a business, especially in a new market. The fastest way to build trust with someone else is to be completely present when that person is talking, to be completely present to what that person needs. So that is the value of these two exercises. So now we are going to shift, and we are going to come out of the focus exercise and the relaxation exercise, and I'm going to wake you up. So we're coming into the world of Napoleon Hill. Everybody knows that Napoleon Hill is absolutely famous for studying and writing about what it takes for a business to succeed. I'm sure most of you are familiar if you haven't read his book on the topic. What he's less known for is being interviewed on the radio. And he was interviewed for what are the 3 reasons businesses fail. You have spoken, the radio interview asked him, you have spoken to business people for years, and you've done all this research. Why do businesses fail? Napoleon Hill had 3 reasons. The first reason businesses fail, The inability of the business owner to get along with other people. That was reason number 1. Guess what? The exercise that you did today about being able to relax and being able to focus and be present, you have just helped yourself solve that particular problem. The second reason Napoleon Hill gave for businesses failing is the inability of the business owner to stick with it when it gets tough. And ladies and gentlemen, it is going to get tough. There is no way to build a business in any day or age that you're not going to run into obstacles. And the ability to persevere through that is something else that you just helped yourself with today by doing this exercise on creating a connection for focus. Because when you are focused on the goal and not on the obstacle, you will persevere. There is a reason why I put these things in this order. You now have the tool to overcome how to get along with people, and you have the tool to overcome how to focus, stay, and persevere on your goals. The third reason the businesses fail, according to Napoleon Hill, the inability of the business owner to make an effective decision quickly. Effective decision making is what we're going to talk about next. And I'm going to give you a tool, ta-da, that you can use to help make effective decisions a lot easier and faster. But first, I have to tell you a story. If you don't like baseball, just bear with me. I think you'll still like the story. There's a young ball player, and he is being called up from the minor leagues. He is going to the show. He's going to play for the Atlanta Braves. He is so excited. Everybody on the airplane knows that this kid is going to the show, that he's going to play ball. I mean, everybody knows. So he gets off the airplane, he gets in a cab, he has the cab driver take him to the stadium. I don't care that there's no ball game, I'm going to the show, I got to get there. Cab driver drops him off. The kid is just excited. He is walking around the stadium. There are trophies over here, there are pictures of famous ball players over there, and then he sees, pardon the expression, God. It's the ballpark owner. He goes up to him. Oh, I'm so happy to be here. You have no idea. I am so excited. I'm going to play ball for you. The ballpark owner says, son, I'm glad you're happy to be here. Why don't you come into my office and we'll get better acquainted? Oh, yeah, no problem. You can imagine a big floppy dog running down this hall. Oh, I'm so happy to be here. They get into the ballpark owner's office. Ballpark owner sits behind his desk. The ball player is trying to sit in his chair. Now, he's just so excited. It is all he can do to get his assets down in that chair. And the ballpark owner says, I know you're excited. I'm glad you're excited to be here. Why don't you take a minute and read these? And he slides a few pieces of paper across his desk. These are the rules of the ballpark. No problem. No problem. I'm happy to be here. This is going to be, it's so much fun. I'm going to be. And he starts reading. And he starts settling down. And by the time he gets to the second page, he's got this kind of wrinkle right here on his forehead. And he looks up at the park owner and he goes, I don't like some of these rules. The park owner says, son, you have 3 choices. Option 1, you can accept the rules of the ballpark without conflict. You can play ball, probably make a lot of money, and absolutely love life, enjoy the game. That's option 1. Option 2, you can accept these rules with conflict. You can hate coming to work, you can feel victimized about it, you can struggle, you'll still play ball, you might even make good money, but you will not have a happy life. Option 3, you can get out of my ballpark. Whoa, I just got to the show, I don't want to leave. What were those first 2 options? Option 1, you can accept the rules of the ballpark without conflict. Enjoy life. Option 2, you can accept the rules of the ballpark with conflict, feeling that you're being victimized, and struggle. Still play ball, but not be happy. When you lay options out that clearly, needless to say, the decision was easy. The ball player chose to accept without conflict. The reason I tell this story, and it's not a Jackie original, okay, credit where credit is due. I first heard it from a lady named Dr. Zanya, who's a motivational speaker, and she works mostly with network marketing companies. It's a really good story. And I realized that there were multiple applications for it. As a matter of fact, in my presentations, I challenge people to find a place where this does not apply. Here's how it played out in my own life. At the time I heard this, I was in my 30s. I had kids, around in this age. We would go to visit my mother. Whose ballpark was I in? Oh my God, I had never thought about it. I had 3 choices. I could accept her rules without conflict. I could accept her rules with conflict, which is what I had been doing my entire adult life, being miserable at my mother's house. Or I could stay out of her house. Now, that was a new thought for me at the time, that I actually didn't have to go visit my mother, but that's another story. I started accepting the rules of my mother's ballpark without conflict. I started talking about it with my kids on the way down. We're going to Grandma's house, we follow Grandma's rules. All of a sudden, our visits became a lot of fun because there was no stress. I mean, there was no challenge. Now, another new thought. When my mother came to my house, whose ballpark was she in? Prior to this discovery, I had always shifted my world around to accommodate her rules, never realizing it was my ballpark. I'm the one who paid the mortgage here. So she would come to visit, and I stopped changing the rules. What that looked like was, yes, Mom, I understand you'd like to have breakfast at 9:30. We have breakfast at 8. Would you prefer to have eggs or oatmeal? Simple. Yes, Mom, I understand that you would rather go for a walk, but at this time of day, we all gather together and do this one activity. Would you like to sit in this chair or that one? An amazing thing happened. One, my husband at the time thought that a miracle had occurred. And 2, my mother chose option 3. She stopped coming to my ballpark. This was amazing. There was no strife. There was no stress about this. I would go to her house. We would have a great time. And she was free to say no when I issued invitations for her to come up. Life changed. It's a very powerful framework to make decisions from. When you are an employee, whose ballpark are you in? Okay, your bosses. Guess what? You got 3 choices. When I was an employee and I figured this out, it didn't take me too long to become self-employed. I realized there was no way I was going to be able to accept without conflict, and there was no way I was going to continue to stay in a ballpark where I felt victimized. That left me with only option 3. I got out of the ballpark. I've been self-employed ever since. Where in your life can you apply this? The short version of this, whose ballpark am I in? What that means is, whose decision is it? If you are like me, you have probably spent a great deal of time, money, talent, treasure focusing on decisions that were not yours to make because they were not your ballpark. So get a handle on this, and you will have a framework for effective decision making that will take you into your profitability in a really, really big way. Talk about dialing down the drama. If you can remember to stop, take a deep breath, activate a connection, and ask the question, whose ballpark am I in? At that moment, you will change your life because decisions become very, very easy to make. And everybody loves things that are easy. So now we're going to walk out of the world of Napoleon Hill. We've been through stress management, stress intervention technique training. We have gone into Napoleon Hill and effective decision making. So now he had 3 reasons businesses fail. You have a tool to handle each of those 3 reasons. You have no more excuses for failure. Okay? You need more information about that, we'll talk. But realize you have the keys now to move yourself into profitability and out of what you've been struggling with. But now we're going to go to the next part. And the last part is about marketing. And Deborah, thank you so much for being brave enough to come up here. Because one of the biggest challenges that people have with marketing is that they're saying the wrong thing to the wrong person at the wrong time, and their message isn't clear. On your table, you have cheat sheets, and you have a stack of index cards. Index cards are there for 3 reasons. 1, we're going to use them in the next exercise. 2, you can write down any questions you might have from the first couple of exercises. And 3, you might want to take notes. Who knows? Here's the deal. Effective marketing looks like this. It looks like identifying your target market. For some people, the target market is going to be really easy on demographic lines. It's going to be men over the age of 40 who shoot hoops all weekend and suffer from weekend warrior syndrome and have pain. That's going to be their target market. It's going to be really easy to focus in on that. Mine was not so easy to focus in on because mine was all about characteristics rather than about demographics. So when I finally got through this exercise enough times to drill down on mine, my target market are people who are willing to change, not just wanting to change, but willing to do the work. People who are willing to be uncomfortable, because anytime you are training in learning a new skill, you're going to be uncomfortable because you're not going to be good at it. You got to be bad at it before you get good at it. You got to be good at it before you get great at it. So people have to be willing to be uncomfortable, and they have to be willing to take a risk because they are going to leave behind their negative emotional history and walk into being more effective. So those are the demographics, the characteristics that I'm looking for. Well, what group of people has those 3 characteristics consistently? Entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are willing to take a risk. They're willing to be uncomfortable. You know, they are willing to change, otherwise they would still be employees. So that's my target market, and that's how I got to it. So now you're going to get to your own target market. So take a minute and look at the cheat sheet. The first question you're going to ask and write down, who do I work with? Who is my best client? Who, and here's best. Best is the person who pays you money, not the one who's the most fun. Best is the person who pulls out their wallet and pays you for what you are offering. Give me 2, maybe 3 at the most, characteristics of who is your best client. The next question is really important. What do they struggle with? What pain are they in? What is their challenge? What do they have? What problem do they have to solve that they're coming to you for? So, who do you work with? Who's your best customer? What is the struggle that they have? The third question, once you have those 2, what do you offer them? What solution do you offer them? Let's face it, if you're an orthopedist and they've got a broken leg, the solution you offer is a cast. Okay, it's really just that simple. What do they struggle with, and what solution do you have for them? What do they pay you for? What is the product or service that you are selling? And yes, we all sell. It is not a dirty word. And at the end of the day, you're going to sell much more effectively than you ever have before. So now we have, who do I work with? What do they struggle with? What I offer them. And the last piece, what is the outcome? I'm going to teach you all FOTO, F-O-T-O. It means focus on the outcome. What is the outcome that your best client gets from you, that they are happiest about, that they thank you for? Here's a clue. It may not be what they thought they were buying, because we sell people what they want and then we give them what they need. And at the end, they thank you for meeting the need that they probably couldn't identify. So don't be surprised if the outcome is a little different than what the struggle is. Sometimes there's a mismatch there. That's okay. People come in the door because of a physical pain when they walk into a healer, but what they really need is the emotional shift sometimes. So you got to go with what they want, which is their struggle. The outcome may be something different. It may be what they actually need. Now we get to have some fun. Is there anyone willing to share their list to answer the 4 questions for the room? And Dave, my lovely assistant, is going to bring the microphone around. And please wait till he gives you the microphone.
Do you want to have some time for questions? I wrap it up pretty quick.
Okay, so we're only going to do 2.
Who wants to share their list?
Anybody brave enough? Joshua? Oh, you volunteered somebody, Dan? There we go. It's okay. Tell me what you've got.
So my customers are foreign.
Push it right up to your mouth like you're going to.
My customers are foreign customers from other countries,
Okay.
and
So
they,
I'm going to repeat it just so they can get it
Yeah,
on the film.
I don't know.
So your best customer is someone who is from another country.
Yes.
Okay, and what do they struggle with?
so they do not know anything here. They don't know how the laws, and they don't know how we live here, and so yeah.
Okay,
this
so they
is-
struggle to adapt to the custom and culture of America.
Yeah.
Okay, so people from another country who struggle to adapt to the customs and culture of this country, what do you offer them? What do they pay you for?
So I help them with all their needs, everything they need to do here or to learn. So I help them to go.
Okay, what does the package look like that they're buying from you? So if you're not sure, I think I've got a clue.
Yeah.
Give me the outcome. What is the outcome? What is the benefit they get from working with you?
They are usually very happy that they found somebody who helps them in every way and they can trust.
Okay, so
The
they
trust,
absolutely
yeah.
love you and they can trust you. What is the benefit to them of now they love and trust you? What is the benefit to them?
The benefit for them. So, that they,
This is not an easy exercise,
Yeah,
guys.
I
She's being
know.
really brave because this is
Yeah,
a
they are
new
happy,
way
yeah.
of thinking, okay?
Yeah.
They're happier.
they are happy.
There we go. They're happier.
Thank you.
Okay, that's good. You got there. All right, so you don't have to hold the mic to your face right now. You can just hang on to it for a second. I'm going to run that through what I heard you say, okay? Because the purpose of having an elevator pitch, the purpose of being able to convey value is so that we get more business, right? We want to help more people. So let's make this where it's easy for people to identify. I either know your target market or I am your target market, okay? So if I was you, I would say, I work with people who are here from other countries, who are struggling to adapt to the customs and cultures of this country. I offer them a guided tour through the laws and support to navigate the intricacies. You know, if they need to know where the grocery stores are, if they need to know how to tip when they go to a restaurant, and if they need to find a doctor for the right kind of doctor. I give them a roadmap to this country's culture. And after working with me, my clients have the benefit of feeling like they're home. They are happy here. Did I get it?
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, thank
All right.
you.
Does anybody doubt who she works with? No. When you're out and about talking to people, do you think that you could identify in a conversation her target market? Somebody who's from another country who's struggling to adapt to this culture? Yeah. That's the purpose of an elevator pitch. That's clarity. When I can listen to you, hear those first 2 pieces, and know I am that, I know that. I know someone who's that, or I am that. If I can self-select myself in or identify someone who is the perfect fit for you, that's an effective marketing pitch. Okay, that's an effective elevator.
And that's a great tool to use. I would encourage you to write those 5 things down and use that in your business as well. It's time now for, and we don't have time for questions. We got to wind this up. We're going to make some announcements. Give Jackie a big hand clap for coming here. Thank you so much for presenting.
Oh, you're very welcome.
And Jackie's going to stick around. If you want to have questions, come talk to her. John, are you ready? All right, let's do it.
Let's fill the room next week, okay? Bring a friend or bring an entrepreneur that is a friend and their friends too. All right? Yes, the answer is always
Yes.
yes!